Today I wanted to talk about a very big aiming issue that's affecting all controller players on Marvel Rivals. What's happening at the moment is there is an aiming bug in the first 20 to 30% of the range of the right joystick. This is affecting all controller players at the moment and is a very big issue when it comes to fine-tuned aim. I actually reached out to Marvel Rivals support to ask them about this issue after a number of people commented on my last aiming video saying that this was an issue and that they noticed this as well. So I wanted to get to the bottom of what happened and what's going to happen in terms of a fix. So let's dive into the practice range and let me show you exactly how this bug affects all three curve types of aiming. So here we are in the practice range. Let's go into the settings and I'll show you what we're going to start with. Let's start with a linear curve just to show how this affects aiming on linear. So I've got linear curve, minimum input dead zone 0, everything else that's important is 0. Aim assist doesn't matter for this. It's the same issue regardless of your aim assist settings, and sensitivity doesn't matter for this. It's the same issue as well. So here we are on linear, and what I'm going to do is turn the controller like front on like this so you can see exactly how much I'm moving my right joystick, and I'm going to try and focus the camera on the right joystick as well. Okay, and what I'm going to do is slowly start moving the joystick in the right direction. So you can see I'm starting to move it there, got about 10% tilt, and what you can see on screen probably is some stuttering in the range there. So I'm holding it just beyond the range of the issue now and it's fine, but if I drop down my tilt on the joystick just slightly, can you see that stuttering? That's not me moving, that's actually the game struggling to register any input from the joystick at all. It's the same issue if I go left, stuttering again, stuttering, 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 and eventually I get it tilted enough that it goes beyond that first sort of 20 to 30% of the range where that stuttering issue happens. So unfortunately what this means is that when you're trying to make small adjustments to your aim, especially when you're strafing and aiming a lot like I do, you can see that you're hitting that stuttering issue. You can actually see it on the screen, right? Stuttering, 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 and it's sort of wiggling the camera left and right and not moving smoothly like you'd expect. It's the same issue if you go on dual zone S-curve as well. So these settings that I've got here are what I showed in my last settings video. So check that video out if you haven't already. I go through all of the best settings for controller at the moment. But regardless of what you've got in your values here, this issue will affect dual zone S-curve the same. So again, just to show, move my right stick to the right, there is a lot of stuttering in that beginning range, and to the left, stuttering as well. It is not smooth at all until I get to about 30% of tilt on my joystick. Lastly, I'm going to show exponential minimum input dead zone 0, remember, and I've got a curve value of, let's go 5. So this is just a very slight curve value. And what I found is that the higher you make this curve value, the less this bug actually affects you on exponential. So 5, it will affect you. So let me move to the right. I'm going slightly down by accident. Yeah, and you'll start to see that bug kicking in. Again, left. That bug is kicking in, very stuttery, right? If I increase that value to 8, that issue actually starts to go away. So I'll just slightly push it to the left, and we're already getting smooth, slow movement there. So here you can see I've reached out to Marvel Rivals support on their Discord channel. This is what I said. I said, hey, I play on Xbox and want to check if there is a known aiming bug. When I make very small movements using my right joystick, there is some stuttering of the camera position, which makes aiming harder. Will this be fixed? Then I got an auto reply, and then eventually somebody replied. And they said, dear player, if the problem persists, please let us know the information below. This will greatly help us optimize and improve the game performance as below. So they basically just wanted a screenshot or video of the problem and logs, etc. So I sent them this video and I said, here's a video showing the stuttering effect and a screenshot showing my settings. Then I got the auto reply, and then they actually replied and they said, thanks for your feedback. We have indeed identified a bug in this area and we anticipate that it will be fixed in a future update. In the meantime, here are 2 temporary workarounds. 1, players can switch to an incremental curve, which will prevent this issue from occurring. 2, players can continue using a dual zone or linear curve, but adjust the minimum dead zone to 24 or above, which will also prevent this issue. Then I wanted to confirm if this issue was happening for other controller players as well, not just Xbox. So I said, thanks, can you please confirm if this affects PlayStation as well, and PC with controller? And they basically said, dear player, we cannot confirm this at the moment, and it will need to be verified by the team later. So that is the official answer from Marvel Rivals support. It's confirmed that it's a known bug. They did not confirm whether it affects PlayStation or PC, but I have set up just for you guys a PC account of Marvel Rivals, and I've gone in to test this myself as well to see if it's an issue. And I confirmed that no, this does not affect PC players. I could not test PlayStation because I don't have a PlayStation, but if you do have a PlayStation and you've noticed this issue as well, please comment below, and would like to hear that just to confirm that it's affecting all controller players at the moment. Now this thread with Marvel Rivals support was on the 13th of January, so it's taken me a little while to make this video, but I just confirmed it today, and the issue is indeed still happening for Xbox at least. So just to recap those two workarounds. So 1, minimum input dead zone of 24 for linear or dual zone S-curve, and 2, you can switch to exponential with a curve value of 8 or above. Either will work and work around the issue. You just may have some other downsides by making those changes to your settings. With exponential, it does have a very different aiming feel to linear, so I wouldn't recommend switching to exponential just to try and solve this bug, but that is one of the recommended fixes from the devs, or workarounds I should say, is to switch to exponential, and you will need a curve value of 8 or higher to try and mitigate this bug. For linear curve, the other workaround, for linear curve and dual zone S-curve, the other workaround the devs recommended is that you set your minimum input dead zone to 24 or above, which is very, very high. Most people would not want to play with a dead zone that high normally. But if you do set it to 24, you will see that obviously the downside of that is it takes a lot of movement to register anything. But because that first sort of 20 to 30% of the stick's range is a dead zone effectively, it is not affected by the bug anymore. So what the devs have told me is basically just avoid the bug altogether by setting the dead zone so high that you'll never encounter it. And of course, when you do that, sure, you get smooth low speed movement, but you get a big dead zone. So it's a trade-off. I wouldn't really recommend it unless you want to give that a go. But you might find that it's worth having the trade-off of having the bug with a minimum input dead zone of 0. Then you get those like smaller, fast, twitchy movements that you might be used to with like flick shots and things. Otherwise, you can also try that 24 input dead zone workaround that has been suggested as well. So we have no idea when this is going to be fixed. Unfortunately, Marvel Rivals support have not given any indication. They haven't given an official answer as to when this is going to be fixed. So if anybody else has heard anything, please comment below. We'd love to hear and share that news with the community as well. So this is obviously really disappointing for controller players at the moment, and a big L for Xbox and PlayStation players especially. Now don't get me wrong, I think Marvel Rivals is a great game, but the whole area of aiming and sensitivity and aiming curves in this game has been a bit of a sore point. There's been a whole lot of issues with a lot of people commenting on my videos, especially saying they've found it so difficult to aim in this game compared to other games. And I completely agree, having played many other games like Overwatch, Apex Legends, The Finals, Call of Duty, Battlefield, etc. I think that there's a lot more that Marvel Rivals can do to improve the experience of playing this game on console or with a controller, and really hoping that they make some updates in the next round of patches. That was it today, guys. Just a short video to explain the issue. Subscribe for more news and content on Marvel Rivals in the future, and see you in the next one.